Hey guys, welcome back to Lady Poe Designs. It's Erin. Sorry there was no video last week, but I work in finance and it's year end and it's crazy. But I managed to get a few projects done for last minute gift ideas, decoupaging with Roycycled papers. So let's get into the fun stuff. For project one, I get these off of Amazon. They're solid wood. I know you can get them at Dollar Tree, but the ones you get off Amazon are really smooth. They're really good quality. I just like them better. So I've got the 4x4 canvases, I guess you call them, wood canvases, and 8x8 wood. So I'm going to stain them with a Dark and Decrepit by DIY. Just the bottoms, not the fronts, because we're going to decoupage on the front. I did it to all 12 of them. They're 6 and 6. We're going to take the little tumbling tower blocks. I cut them into 3 pieces, and I'm going to use those as little legs. And then the cubes from Dollar Tree, I'm going to use those for the big ones. We're going to take DIY's White Swan and just put one coat on the front of all of them. All 12 of them. You can see the difference of just the plain wood. And you want the white down so your decoupage paper will pop. But we're going to also try to do the iron-on method. So we're going to take liquid patina from DIY. And since liquid patina is so thin, I'm going to do 3 coats. And I know that sounds like a lot, but if you think of that as opposed to Mod Podge is a lot thicker. Liquid patina is very thin. The paper that we're using, guys, I'm so in love with this paper. I am obsessed. It's the Cowgirl paper from Roycycle, and it is gorgeous. I love the project blocks on this. They're so cute. I got this little water pen with a set of rulers that I bought. So I didn't actually go and get this water pen, but it's actually really cool. You put water in it. I know y'all have probably seen them. So I figured if I got it for free, I might as well use it. You can still use a little paintbrush with water, but I decided to use this. So we're going to separate the blocks. And it's so cool. I left this in to show y'all. You just draw on it like a Sharpie. And just tear it like normal. They're really actually cool. The images on this Cowgirl paper project blocks, they're so stinking cute. The horses and the skull, the boot advertisement, there's a wagon, there's the cowgirl. We're putting that on one of the 8x8 blocks. Now the liquid patina has already dried. So I'm going to lay this down, and I got that heat mat thing that I don't know what you call it, that comes with your Cricut press. I don't even know. What is that called? But you can reuse it, or you can use parchment paper, whichever. But I'm just going to take my little Cricut iron and iron these down. And I did not know if this would work. I didn't know if liquid patina would work the same way you do, iron on Mod Podge. But it actually did. It worked really good. Look how smooth that is. But I just lifted up all the sides and you see it stuck. And I do that to all of them. Now I'm going to lay down Miss Calamity Jane. I love this paper, guys. It's so cute. We're going to put that protective layer down and iron that on. And I make sure to get all the corners and the edges really good. So cute. We're going to put down our cowgirl. And then the horseshoe. Now for the 2 extra ones, I'm using the Distress Grungy Floral. So there's 4 blocks with the coasters and the chargers that all have the cowgirl blocks. And there's 2 extras that have the grungy floral. And that's all just to make it cohesive. You know, I wanted them all to be a set. You can give these individually, or you can make them a set. Like you have 6 chargers and you have 6 coasters, or you can give them separate. So we're going to take our zip sander. After I've ironed all these down in a downward motion, we're going to take off the excess paper. Just like we do when we decoupage regularly, it's the same thing. And get that nice, seamless, sharp edge. Beautiful. I love that paper. So now we're going to take liquid patina and fully seal this in. Now it is take into account that when you put liquid patina on top of this, even though you've ironed it down, the paper is going to react. So you will see bubbles, but when the paper goes back down, they'll go away. So we're going to take the gator hide and just completely waterproof these. The front and the back. Like I want the whole thing waterproof because, you know, if you set a glass on the coasters, you want them to be waterproof. If you get food or anything on the chargers, you want to be able to wipe them off. So we're going to completely protect these and make sure that they are washable. Can't put them in the dishwasher, of course, but you know what I'm saying. So we're going to do the front and the back of all of them and let them fully dry. Hush. My dog's growling, sorry. So we've got the little tumbling tower blocks that I cut up into 3 pieces. We're going to take the Type Bond wood glue and we're going to put those down and put the little legs on. And that's how they look when they're put together. I'm going to do that to all 6 of the coasters. And then I'm going to take the cubes for the big blocks, the 8x8 blocks, or not blocks, but canvases, and use those as the legs. And I actually saw Royce do this on one of her videos with a different kind of paper, and it's so cute. And I actually think she used the same little canvases off of Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. But we do that to all of them, and this is the set. Like I said, they're all different images, but they go together so well. I love how these turned out. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. So for the second project, we're going to get a tray that I thrifted. And it's solid wood, but it has this, I don't know, what do you call it? Snake skin? Gator skin? But it's paper. It's not like, and you see it's brittle. The wrapping on the handles were brittle. The other side had already come off. You could tell this had been used and loved very much, but it was nasty. Nasty. So I sanded it all off as much as I could get. I could not get the corners off, but you're not going to be able to tell because we're going to use paint with salt wash. Plus, I'm going to put down a layer of the clear Salvation solution, and it's also by DIY. This also comes in a white. So if you're not doing it on wood, or if you have a different kind of surface that you don't want to use the clear, it also has a white option. But this will block any of the tannins from this old wood coming through, any of the maybe excess glue or anything that was under that paper on the corners that I couldn't get off. That will stop that from bleeding through in my paint. So we're going to take DIY's Weathered Wood and Salt Wash. There it is. And mix those together, and we're going to put one layer over the entire tray, bottom as well. And for all of my DIY products and Roycycled papers and Salt Wash, I get from Sammie at Unicorn Dust Designs, and I'll leave her website, as always, in the bottom of the description. So we're just going to put one layer over the entire tray. And I'm just stippling it on to give it some kind of texture so I can hide where that paper was in the corner, because, you know, it's going to give it a texture. So might as well give the whole tray a texture. And Salt Wash is perfect for that because it's not going to lose its density. It's going to stay that way. So we're going to take Gypsy Green and we're going to dry brush this over the entire tray. And I'm doing this for a purpose because it's not going to stay dark. So I'm just going to dry brush this just sparingly, but just putting a good layer over the entire thing. I left a little bit of the drying in here. DIY paints will always dry lighter than how they go on. So you can see the contrast with the Weathered Wood and the Gypsy Green. Because they're clay-based paints, they're going to dry lighter. So now we're going to take our Crackle Medium from Folk Art, and we're going to lay down a layer of this over the entire tray. And remember, when using this, like I said before, it's very temperamental. You want to do one stroke. And however thick you put it on, the bigger the cracks are going to be, if that makes sense. If you put a thin layer, you're just going to get the little bitty cracks. If you put it on fairly thick, you're going to get big cracks that you'll be able to see more of the color through. So I put on a pretty healthy coat when I put mine on because I like the big cracks. So we've covered that. This is a new can of vintage linen that I just got from Sammie. I ran out of my other because it's my favorite white to use. But I was going to show y'all, I never keep them in the cans. I always transfer them to a squirt bottle or some kind of other container because it's clay-based paint, right? So every time you open the can, you're letting air get to the paint, which is essentially drying it out. So I want as little air getting to my paint as possible. So I get these little squirt bottles. You've seen in my other videos, I use the littler squirt bottles for my Salvation solution, the Big Top, the liquid patina. But y'all, I'm getting every drop. I scrape it off of everything. I scrape the can, I scrape the lid, all of it. I'm not wasting that paint. So we're going to get all of that off. And then pour the rest of it into the bottle. And this is those, you've probably seen them at like Subway or something like that. They just squirt from out the top. It's like a silicone thing that self-closes. But I love keeping them in these bottles. It makes them very accessible. So we're going to put one layer of vintage linen on. And because we have that crackle on, we're not going to overwork it. So we're doing just one swipe. And I'm going to go over the entire tray. And you can see it begins to crack immediately. And I do take my heat gun over it and help it along. And that actually helps it get bigger cracks. But then we're going to take this outside because we put the Salvation solution on. That's me. Hi, guys. We're going to sand off the top layer. And please forgive my mess of a garage. You see cow skulls in my wood pile in the back. Sorry. Don't judge me. But we're just going to take that top layer off to So you'll be able to see the weathered wood. You'll be able to see that green. All of that come through. Now the paper we're using, oh my gosh, I love this paper. This is the Vintage Wallpaper by Roycycled. We're going to lay that down. And I'm just using my finger to go along the crease of the tray. And just using my fingernail just to kind of score it. And I'm just going to cut across that line and then lay it down. Oh, I love this paper. If I could put it on everything. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. But we're going to take our liquid patina and lay down our anchor strip so the paper won't move. Because I've got it like what I think is just right. I totally don't have it right because I end up having to cut some of it off. But I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to fit perfect. And I didn't take into account that I spritz my paper so it stretches it a little bit. Yeah, I had to cut some off, but it's okay. We get it done. So we're going to put that starter strip on, spritz it with a little bit of water, and then lay it down. And I'm just going to use my fingers to spread it out. You see how it comes up a little bit right there? Roycycled paper, you can readjust it. I just pull it down, lift it up, pull it down, and press it down with my fingers. And since this is a textured surface, I'm not really working that hard on getting all the wrinkles out, but I am pressing it into all those little indentions over the salt wash that we put on there. It's really gritty and it has texture. If any of y'all have ever worked with salt wash, you know what I'm talking about, but it's not flat. So I'm just working it all over those little grooves, trying to make it lay as flat as I can. And I'm going to take my little finger X-Acto knife and just run across the edges and cut that excess paper off. Now I'm doing this after this is completely dry. If you do it when it's still damp, you will tear the paper like I did right there. I tried to rush it and that little spot right there wasn't completely dry. And yep, I tore it. But it's okay because you can't even tell. But we're going to cut the excess paper off around all the corners. And then we're going to go back in with the liquid patina and coat the entire tray with the liquid patina because I want to make sure all the edges are down and it's completely flat. But y'all, this tray turned out gorgeous. From what it was in the beginning to what it is now, I think it's stunning. What do y'all think? Now I have the tray, I gotta have something to put on it, right? So I'm taking a Dollar Tree bottle, the ones that come with little corks, and we're gonna do the same process. We're gonna take that same gypsy green and some salt wash, and we're gonna put a layer of that over this bottle. Now, of course, in typical Erin fashion, I forget to turn my camera back on, so I didn't get the first coat, but we're going back in with the second coat to cover any places I might have missed. So you got that. We're going to take that same wallpaper, decoupage paper, and we're going to cut out just little elements. I'm going to cut out a leaf. I'm going to cut out one of the roses because I want this to match the tray, right? So I'm not going to completely cover it, but we're going to take the same crackle medium and put a layer over the entire bottle. And you can see right there, I put a fairly thick layer. So, but you put however much you want. If you like the little cracks, do very thin. If you like the big ones, put it on thick. We're going to take the same DIY vintage linen and put that on. Now remember, like I said, you do 1 strokes. And you'll see on the bottom, I'll show you here in a second, it begins to crack immediately. So cool. So I'm going to go down the sides of them in 1 stroke and cover this entire bottle. So we're going to come in again with a liquid patina. And we're going to lay down the little elements. I just pull back a little flap and start to push these down. Again, with the texture on this bottle because of the salt wash, I'm having to more or less press it in with my finger. And you'll actually see at one point I spray the top of it with water so my finger will slide with the glue. So I do use the brush to push it down, but to get it really smooth, you'll see here in a minute, I'm pretty I'm not gentle on this paper, and that's what I love about Roycycled paper. It's thin, yes, but it's durable. You can lift it up, you can reposition it. It's just very, very well made decoupage paper. And it's so easy to do. And like I said, these are last minute gift ideas. And y'all can bang these out so fast. So I'm going to lay that down with the paintbrush. And see, I'm just pushing it down and kind of stippling it and getting it into all those little nooks and crannies. Flip it over, and I'm going to lay another leaf on the other side to kind of balance it out. And see right here, you'll see I just start pushing it down fairly hard actually with my thumb. And I'm getting all the wrinkles, all the bumps, all the excess glue, everything. And I spritz it right here so my finger will actually slide. And y'all, this paper looks like it was printed on this bottle. I'm telling you, you cannot tell it's paper. So I'm going to lay down the rest of the elements just where I think there are blank spots or negative space. And look, I'm just piecing this together. It's not on the paper like this, but I just cut out elements that I liked and I'm just putting them down. Y'all just use your imagination. The possibilities on design-wise like this are absolutely endless. You can do anything. You could overlap them. You could do anything. Now, you don't have to use decoupage paper like this. You can print out images from Graphics Fairy, any place. You can do anything with decoupage, and that's why I think it's such a cool medium to use. But doesn't that look pretty? We're going to seal all of that in with just one layer of Big Top over the entire bottle. And because I did not think that was enough, and I always think there should be more, I got another bottle from, actually this is a bottle left over from my wedding. I don't even know where it came from. It was given to me. But I'm not going to paint this one because it has the same green as the paper. So I'm just taking just a couple of elements from the same wallpaper paper, and I'm painting the liquid patina on the back because I don't want to get it all over the bottle because I want that clear, part of the bottle to stay clear. And, sometimes you paint the back of the paper with white so it'll pop. I didn't want that. I wanted it to be kind of muted. So I didn't paint the back of the paper. So we're just laying it straight onto the bottle. I'm going to take the little rose and put it on the other side because I wanted this one very subtle. I'll lay that down. Now, because I want all of it to stay clear, I'm going to take alcohol and wherever liquid patina got on the bottle, I'm going to go through and just wipe that off, and it comes off so easily. So now it just looks like these were actually printed directly onto this bottle. I ended up tying a piece of lace around the neck of the bottle and then put a little bow on it. And look how they turned out. I love them. I think they go perfectly with the tray. I think it was just the right touch. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all love decoupaging as much as I do? Because I think I'm obsessed. But anyway, leave a comment, like, subscribe, share if you could. It would be greatly appreciated. And remember, as always, you are beautiful and you can do hard things. Bye, guys.